Hello, it's Monday, start of another week. Busy weekend for me, just gone. Obviously we're preparing for the baby in June. Lots of stuff to sort out in the house. It's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. We've got stuff that's got to come back into the house from the conservatory, old baby stuff. But the baby's room's going to be what is currently just a junk room. Got to sort that stuff out. Some of that's got to go into the garage. Some of the stuff's in the conservatory. So to be able to make space to bring stuff in, we've got to take stuff out, but we've got to make space for the stuff to go out. And after lifting stuff around, multiple trips to the dump, the rubbish tip, and lots of other stuff, yeah, I'm aching a bit after the weekend, and unfortunately it meant I missed the end of month special ride on Sunday. So we just had so much going on, but you know what, after doing it, it still feels like we got nowhere. I don't know what it is. We've got so much junk in our house. It's just time to have a good clear out. But that was my weekend. I want to try and get on the bike a little bit more this week if I can. Last week's race, I want to mention Liam Merrick from last week's race. Absolutely awesome effort. Trying to break away early from the main group. And everybody was willing him on to try and get to the end and not get caught by the A's and the B's. Unfortunately, just caught towards the line by John and Jonesy, but amazing effort. Train going by, hopefully you can still hear me. Yeah, and I was so pleased that you still hung on to get third. I was watching that because there was only 2 or 3 DCAT riders and we got caught pretty early, or I did definitely, and I managed to hang on to the CCAT for quite a large portion of the race. It helped that it was obviously a flat race, but we hit the little aqueduct sort of flyover thing, and I literally lost the back of the group by millimeters, and it was enough to just drop off the back, and by the time we'd gone downhill again, that was it. I was lost. So yeah, I just managed to jump forward and watch the other races and stuff, so the other riders. I did finish the course, but not particularly quickly after that point. But yeah, not a particularly nice day today. I was hoping the weather's going to start warming up. We're nearly in March, but hoping that I will try my best to jump onto the bike tonight if the wife doesn't say we've got other stuff to move around. But yeah, I'll catch you later. It's Tuesday now. I didn't ride yesterday. My wife actually had to go out for work. I had to do some more work, and I had to do dinner, bedtime, all of that stuff for the little one, and I just basically ran out of time. But I'm going to get on tonight for the trundle. I've literally just thrown dinner into my face, so I'm hoping that doesn't sit in my stomach. I'm trying to ride, and I've got a bit of a headache coming on as well. So who knows how this is going to go. It's, as with the Tuesday trundle, it's faster than my zone 2, and sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle to keep up with the others, but yeah, I'm just going to give it my best shot. Hopefully the headache clears, and yeah, I can do it quite easily, but we'll see. That's the trundle done. I did the full hour. My headache has actually eased off a little bit, thankfully, so managed to stay on for the whole time. But one recurring problem that I'm having at the moment is my knees. I think that trip up the Alp, which was a while ago now, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's a problem that I've suffered with on and off for a long, well, previously, but haven't had for a long time. And any sort of prolonged effort or difficult effort just really hurts. I don't, in the top area of my knees, I don't really know what to call it, but yeah, I'm hoping that sort of eases off eventually, because it's kind of making riding a little bit more difficult, but still got the hour done. Gonna have a shower. I've got a bit of work to do, so that's the rest of my evening tonight, so I'll catch you later. It's Thursday, which does mean it is race day. I'm going to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit low today. I don't feel like myself. Struggling to get going, struggling to get motivation. I did think I'm not going to ride tonight. I don't know what's causing it. I've got a couple of things going on that I can't talk about. Maybe that's getting me down a little bit. I'm not kind of getting on the bike as often as I would, and I think that's getting to me as well, because I've got other stuff that's going on that's making me really busy. And then when I do get a spare time, I just kind of just zone out of everything. Literally I just can't kick myself out of that habit. Just the last sort of 3 or 4 days. I need to get through it, but I am going to jump on the bike. I am going to try and race this race. There's a chance that you won't even see this bit, because if it goes that badly, I'm not going to put it in a video. But I'm going to force myself to get on. I'm going to force myself to give this what I've got, and let's see what it is. But yeah, let's see how it goes. 4 laps of the crit course in Neokyo for this race. A slightly bigger D group this week than we had last week, which is good. I, Ferguson, A. Evans, John just came for a casual ride with us, usually in the A's, M. St. Clair and OG as well. From the off, the main aim here is to try and get into a group, make sure that I don't lose the back of the rest of the D category, and try and just hang on a little bit, especially with how I was feeling, and not necessarily having too much energy and oomph about myself. I just wanted to still make sure that I could get in with that group and try and ride together. Just going over the start-finish line to start the first of the 4 laps after a very short lead in. You can see already OG and M. St. Clair off the front, trying to, I guess, make a really early breakaway. They're 12 seconds ahead of us already, up over 3 watts per kilo for both of those guys. It'd be interesting to see in the final results what their final watts per kilo was, but if they can make it stick from the start, that would be awesome. We're still, as a 4, just riding together. We've got a 1 minute 44 second lead still after the on the guys behind, although there is a rather large C category behind us, definitely more than 4 riders. We've got 15 kilometers left to go, but I think the chance of holding off such a big C category behind is probably a little bit limited in a flat race like this, but we'll see how we go. About halfway round the first lap, just gone 5 minutes into the race, and that gap to those 2 out the front is 27 seconds. Working together, definitely on the road together, but well up ahead of the rest of the Ds. And the gap back to the C category behind us is now down to 1 minute 20 already. So yeah, the gaps are widening in front and getting smaller behind us. We're just coming to this bit that is probably one of the hardest bits in this race for me, because it's only a sort of I think it goes up to a maximum of 3% incline here, but it's slightly longer. So I know I need to up it a little bit to make sure I stay in with the group. I'm feeling quite strong, actually, which was a bit of a surprise to me, if I'm completely honest with you. But feeling okay. I think I've just got a feather there, and I think I'll use it pretty early. One thing that is starting, whilst I'm feeling strong, my heart rate is only up at 156, and you can see on my face, I'm struggling a little bit to get enough air into my lungs. I'm really struggling to just get the breathing going and keep my legs turning over well. But from a positive note, I'm in with that group. I'm still in with the D category. That gap's already down to 1 minute 8 seconds behind us. But how long can we keep them off? Into the second lap here, and this is the other point on the course that I find a little bit more difficult. 2%, 3% incline for a good few meters. And I just have to be conscious to up the power a little bit to make sure I stay in with the group. 44 seconds now is the gap between us and the 2 out the front, OG and M. St. Clair. And whilst this is a race, I'm still secretly winning those guys on and hoping they can stick together, make the breakaway stick all the way to the end of the race. That gap between us and the C's behind is now down to 32. Pain on my face, you can see I'm really making sure I try and keep that power down at the top, get over the top of here and back off a little bit where it levels off into the slightly negative percentages, just to kind of coast for a little bit. Heart rate's up a little bit higher, not as high as I've seen it before, and I am still really struggling with trying to get that air into my lungs. We've just done that little windy, climby bit through the, is it Gardens area? You can see the gap to the C's behind us. They took huge chunks of times out of us on that little windy bit, down to 1 second. And this is the point I'm thinking, okay, I've put the drafting boost down, thinking if I can put out the power, catch the draft, there's a chance that I might be able to stay with this group. We've not even completed the second lap yet. But if I can stay in with the C's, I've got a chance of staying with the C's for as long as possible, because this is a flatter course. On a hilly course, I wouldn't have any hope. But I put the power down a little bit, and you see the spiky power, and I just think, right, trying to catch the back of these guys and stay in with it. You can see it's a big group. I've got S West, T Pollock, S Greaves coming back for another race, A Pimer. It's moving around a lot. I'm trying to catch everyone. The Bs are still a minute and a half behind this group, and are much smaller. So there's a possible chance that this group is going to be the winner of this race will come from this group if, it's a big if, they can catch the Ds out the front. But this is going at quite a pace, and I'm struggling, and I do struggle to stay in with this group as the race goes on a bit. I mentioned this bit in the last lap, but you can see I've nearly lost the back of this group a couple of times up there. Had to put out a big blast to get back into that group, but I know that once we get over this brow, and I know it's not a big hill, but once we get over the brow of that hill, it goes negative for a little bit. I can coast a little bit and sort of get my breath back, get my energy back. Heart rate finally up at 170. I'm still struggling with getting air into my lungs. Here, I nearly made a mistake and let them all coast past me. But again, having to put the power out, I couldn't get to the point, and this goes back to the problem I've always had, of consistency. It turns now into a very spiky thing for me, is put the power down, get back into the group, try and back off to recover, then they pull away, then I have to put the power down. It's just that cycle that keeps going. I can't put out that consistent power required just to hang in with the group. We're at the other pinch point for me then, trying to hang on to the back of this group, still doing the same, giving it a blast, going up this slight incline and just trying to not lose that draft because I know it's game over at that point. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, I've managed to do a lap with these guys, and that's better than I could probably have hoped, but I didn't want to lose them. I wanted to stay with them as long as possible. I can't see the time gap to the guys out the front. I think they are that purple dot in the top right hand corner on the map, about one corner ahead of us at this point. So I think this group is going to catch them relatively quickly. I'm hoping that they've got something left in their legs just to hang in, put the power down and join this group and be in with the race at the end. Just coming to the end of the third lap, you can see just ahead, unfortunately, Mark and Ollie have been caught. I'm hoping that they're going to be able to stick in with this group, but that was one push too many for me. I lost the back of that draft. You know where that symbol comes up where it's counting up the distance you are away from the group, and I lost them and they were gone. With one lap remaining, 3.7 kilometers, I just couldn't put out any more to try and stay in with them. And you can see them, look how fast they disappear off up the road. But I was quite pleased to hang with them for a lap. And considering how I was feeling before, I was actually quite pleased that I did quite as well as I did. But 3.6 kilometers becomes a bit of a lone race for me now. I made a bit of a mistake at this point. I leant over to use my mouse and change ahead to watch the rest of the race in Zwift and accidentally hit the stop recording button in OBS. So I'm really annoyed because there was some awesome sprinting for everybody coming to the line to win the race, and unfortunately I have no video footage of it, but it was great fun to watch. Yeah, unfortunately nothing recorded of it, I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I've got two separate screens and I must have tried to click over to Zwift when I had backed off to jump ahead and clicked the stop recording button. I mean, the chances of hitting exactly where that is on the screen is pretty slim, but I've obviously done it. It was just a shame because there were some awesome sprints to the line there, which I haven't got on camera now. Especially Chalkers winning it, just pipping S West to the post at the end, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. I'm feeling a lot better, actually. Whilst I stayed with that group for as long as I could, the C group, when they came through, I managed just over a lap, which I'm quite pleased with. A bit gutting I couldn't stay on for a little bit longer, but I just couldn't give any more. My legs were done. And the difficulty again is just getting air into my lungs. Don't know what that is at the moment. Just being able to, my heart rate's not that high, but I can't get air into my lungs when I need it, and then it just slows me down and my legs start to hurt and then it's done. But definitely positive given how I was feeling before the race. Glad I got on and did it. Glad I managed to stay with the C's again. And yeah, overall, not a bad race up until the point where I dropped off the back. So yeah, hopefully that'll give me a bit of oomph again and kick me out of this funk a little bit. But yeah, time for some food and a shower, so I'll catch you later. So given that I wasn't feeling great before that ride, I'm actually really pleased with how it went. Managed to hang on with the D's and then with the C's as that big group came through. Managed to hang on there for another lap. It's such a shame that I couldn't do more than one lap. But I just got that gap again. I lost the back of the draft, and to be honest, I was at the edge of how many more attempts I could hit those red zone numbers to latch onto the back of the group. But really, really pleased. It kind of got me out of a funk. It's Saturday now, and I am feeling better than I was earlier in the week. It's really weird. I've noticed since talking about my moods and stuff on here, how I do sort of seem to be a little bit up and down at certain points. I don't know whether that's because I'm talking about them, that I'm noticing them more, or that they're happening more often. I have no idea. But the main thing is I'm feeling a little bit better towards the end of this week. Jumped on this morning and did the bandy group ride. There were sort of 6 or 7 of us. Going back a year ago, we were having quite a lot more riders on a Saturday morning that joined us. And I'm just mulling things over in my mind, is wondering why people don't come along to that ride like we used to have. Maybe it's that it sort of coincides with lunchtime. It's 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Maybe it kind of eats into family time. We can maybe move it forward an hour, or turning into something more interesting, like doing a workout, a keep together workout, or something like that. I don't know, but if you've got any ideas, or if there's a reason maybe you don't come along to that ride anymore, or don't come because you're doing something else, let me know and we can try and mix it up a little bit. The thing I do like about that is it gets me on the bike on a Saturday morning. It means I do a ride in the weekend. Sometimes I think myself actually it could do with pulling it forward an hour, but I kind of do like have a bit of a line on Saturday as well. So I don't know. If you've got any ideas, let me know and we can change it up and try something different maybe. I don't know. But yeah, what a weird week this week. Again, I'm going to say again, not as much riding as I want to be doing, but just so much going on with work and with prepping the house. I know the Tour of Watopia is coming up soon. I want to try and complete that. Double XP as well. I hit level 40 this morning on the group ride, so I want to try and get as much extra XP towards hitting level 50 as I can. But yeah, let's see if I can up it next week. See if I can just keep getting on the bike a little bit more often like I was before and getting those Zone 2 rides done. Rides next week, if you're interested in coming along to the T2.5 rides, I need some more D-Cat riders. All the D-Cats are moving up into the C-Cats now, achieving targets and doing really, really well, progressing and moving up. We're kind of losing the D category people. So if you're really interested in coming along and joining the rides and the races, really friendly group, really welcoming to newcomers and people who've been using Zwift for a while. Whatever it is, come along and give me a hand. Give me a hand in that D category group. But if you're interested in coming along to our rides, all the information is in the description below. A huge thank you as usual to all the channel members coming up the screen now. Your support is amazing. But that is the end of this video. More riding next week. I keep saying it, but I've got to get it done. But if you have enjoyed this one, do hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.